Hello! I'm Elaine, and I'm a tour guide in the French Quarter. I do ghost tours. And I am not going to tell you the stories that I tell on my tour, because you gotta pay for those. But if you want to hear some interesting things that have happened to me while I'm leading random drunk people around the French Quarter, I got you. So there are three jobs in the French Quarter I would never want to have. Number one is a pedicab driver. If you do not know, the pedicabs are the bicycle cabs that ride around, and the guys who drive them and the girls have to have the most amazing legs and butts in the known universe. Like, oh my god, they have to be so strong. Honestly, I know that they are legally limited to only carrying, I think, 2 people in the back of the cab, but I've seen up to 5 in the back of those cabs. And even when it's just 2, quite often they're big people, it's hotter than death out there, and they're riding around. Like the mules, the mule-drawn carriages, they have to go inside after a certain temperature. If it gets above a certain amount, they have to go home. But the pedicab drivers, nah, they keep going. And there was one day I was walking to work, and there was a pedicab that I was walking by, because I was outpacing them, that had 3 really big women shoved into the back of the cab. And these women were screaming at the top of their lungs for the pedicab driver to go faster, go faster! And this poor guy's face was beet red, and it was like 95 degrees in the shade out there with another like 70% humidity. And to make it even better, I actually was at the meeting place where they were being dropped off. Like, they were being dropped off in Jackson Square, and I was standing nearby. So I got to watch these women climb out of that cab and walk away without tipping. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you almost gave that man a heart attack. At least give him a $5. The second job I would never want to have in the French Quarter is, of course, the street sweepers. Those nice people that walk around with brooms and little dustpans picking up all the garbage that people leave behind. Because, like, yeah, just sweeping stuff off the street doesn't sound too terrible. But generally speaking, it's an assumption that if you see a cup or a bottle with liquid in it in the French Quarter, you can just go ahead and assume that is not beer, that is not water, that is urine. And so many times I've seen them have to deal with those cups of urine, and like most of the time they literally just tip it out into the gutter and then sweep it into their dustpan without ever touching it. But still, you couldn't pay me enough for that job. And the third one is the security guard at Rouse's. Now, Rouse's is the grocery store a block away from Bourbon Street, and the security guards that stand out there all night, God bless them, they are stoic, zen human beings. There was one night I sat there and watched for like 2 minutes as the security guard argued with this really drunk woman who was determined to go inside, which would have been fine if she wanted to buy groceries, but she seemed to think that either she was going to go in and buy a fishbowl and get to use the bathroom, or the other option was she was looking for a place to sleep, and she just couldn't get it through her head that the grocery store offered neither of those services. But eventually her friends dragged her away. But yeah, so no, I'm not taking those jobs. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to share your own experiences in the comments below.